It is what it is.
And you're wearing my outfit tonight. That's crazy.
Sorry, well, thank you.
That is crazy. You fucked me in my own clothes.
You have a nice wardrobe.
You clearly have no loyalty. Everyone, take notes.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Games, episode 16, and let's get right into the video. So right after recoupling, everybody's in their couples, everybody got back together. Jack and Justine had a chat, Sally and Yo had a chat, Ray was having a chat with the guys, and he revealed to the guys that he wanted to make Imani his girlfriend. So he told the guys to go up on the balcony so he can go ask Imani to be his girlfriend. He pulled Imani, basically was just like, after, your nurturing spirit and your kindness and since the first day that they had a chat and everything, and, they were apart and now they're back together and and everything they've been through in the villa. All that stuff. He's like, yeah, he wants to make her a girlfriend. So he asked her, she said yes, everybody cheered on the balcony, and now Imani and Ray are boyfriend and girlfriend in the villa, and it is what it is. It's their boyfriend and girlfriend. So there was a text, they get a text that they're going to be playing Carnival games. And this is where Love Island Games becomes Love Island Games, okay? So Carnival Games was that there's going to be 3 vulnerable couples, and that means 4 people are going home, 2 couples are going home. You're going to have to put people in the firing bin. So before the Carnival Games even happened, everybody was strategizing, everybody is thinking like how they're going to do things. So the OGs were saying they're going to target Scott and Courtney and Mitch and Zeta, the newest couples and the newest bombshells. Those are the people that they're going to couple with. They're going to, target. I mean, Aurelia's lucky because if she wasn't coupled with Johnny, she would have got dumped. She would have got targeted as well. But because she's with Johnny in a couple, the OGs weren't going to target Johnny. So with that being said, everybody was like, we're going to target, Mitch and Zeta and Courtney and Scott, the newest bombshell couples. There's no loyalties, there's no really ties with them. Everybody has a connection, there's loyalty, and they're OGs. So they were saying like, the OGs are going to ride it out. The guys were all making a pact. They were like, look me in the eye. I want us 5 to stick together, which is Johnny, Jack, El, Callum, and Ray. All of them shook hands, looked each other in the eye. They were like, we're not going to target each other, So Justine and Jack were talking to Sally and Y'all because they were like, Sally and Y'all are their only like loyal person, because they were saying like, Ray is loyal, but it's Imani that they have to question, because Justine was speaking about how Imani always wanted to target her. And, Imani has put, a couple of votes and made her like wanting to send her home a couple of times. So, Justine made that note. So Ray and Imani were chatting, and, they were like, okay, what's the strategy going to be? And Ray's like, he's sticking with his OGs. Like, don't switch it up, don't mess it up. But Imani's like, she wants to do her different thing. So the new bombshells like Zeta, Mitch, Scott, they wanted to be like, let's target Jack and Justine, let's target those people. So they were like, let's see if we can get Ray and Imani on our side, because da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So Zeta went up to Imani and basically told her that she heard from Mitch that the OGs wanted to target Imani and Ray. So Imani was like, yeah, that's what I was telling Ray. And she was saying that her loyalties are with the new bombshells, which are Zeta, and Mitch and Courtney and Scott, and she was like, yeah, I got your back, we're loyal, da 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 da. Before all this has happened, before the Carnival games, she told when their couples that she had them. She wasn't gonna go target them in the Carnival game. Now Ray, he's thinking of his OG. He shook hands with all the guys and said that we're gonna try to write it out for for us 5 to be in the final. So it is what it is. So they're not on the same page. Everybody else is able to get on the same page or choose something, and Imani seems to be conflicted. Callum and Deb, same thing with Deb. Deb is lucky that she's coupled up with Callum, because if she wasn't, she would have been dumped. Let me tell you that right there. But Callum, he has loyalties and connections with Jack. He said that from the get-go, because you remember when earlier in the show, Lisa had a problem with Imani, and before they became power couple, she was like, we're not friends, da 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 da, this and that. And that was the biggest move that was just so bad for Lisa, because you're telling Imani that, we're just going to be cordial, we're no longer friends in this villa, got Lisa and Curtis sent packing. So with that being said, Callum knew from the get-go that you need to have social connections, social alliances in here, because it's not all about winning the challenges. And that is a key point here. It's not all about winning. People need to look at this with the challenge. The challenge is basically this biggest example that you should have took Love Island games. Literally, because you can win the dailies. You can win the dailies in the challenge. Yeah, you're safe. But the social alliances is what the key point here. Because if you don't win the dailies, you're going to be struggling and being vulnerable every single time. Every single time. So it's always best to build social alliances, social connections. That's why a lot of people, when they go on these game shows and reality shows, that they always try to pre-game, and they always try to talk to this person, talk to that person before they even head on to the show, because they're trying to build that social alliances, because that's what's going to get them far. That's what's going to get them to the end. And Justine has been on the challenge, so she knows a thing or two of, alliances and what to do and how to navigate them. So let's get to the Carnival games. And the first round of the games was the beanbag toss, and you basically have to throw the beanbag into which couple you're going to target. Callum and Deb went first in the beanbag toss, and Callum basically told Deb, let's target Courtney and Scott, let's basically target the newbies. So Courtney was shook, because they actually threw the beanbags into Courtney and Scott's thing. So, and they went first. And the thing is that Courtney and Deb are friends outside of the villa. They've been on the same season, Love Island season 4 USA, together. So the fact that she's basically betraying them and not showing them any loyalty is a biggest shock to Courtney. So they started out with throwing their beanbags into Courtney and Scott. Then, El and Sally went, they did the same. Jack and Justine went, and they did the same. And then it's they were just getting the beanbags into their stuff. Ray and Imani, they went next. And Ray was like, just throw it in Courtney and Scott's thing. So after, seeing that Scott and, Courtney have a lot of beanbags in, Imani basically flaked on that plan that she made on the balcony with them and said that she had loyalties to Courtney and Zeta and she wasn't gonna, be targeting them. Ray was like, no, just stick with the OG, stick with the OG. So with that being said, the first round, the beanbags, she just immediately tossed it into Courtney's and Scott. So Courtney was upset because she was just like, we just made a deal and you just turn your back on that deal, which was like, okay, fine, you upset Courtney and Scott, that's fine. They're the new bombshell couple, whatever. who cares? You're not disrupting the OG alliance. You're fine. Once you just stick to the plan, you're not messing up with the OG alliance. So Courtney was upset. It is what it is. They got the most beanbags, and they were the first vulnerable couple. Next one was the apple bobbing. So they had to pick apples, apple bobbed, whatever, and then put it into whichever they want to target. So basically everybody target Zeta and Mitch. And then the thing is that Johnny and Aurelia, the reason why they target Zeta and Mitch as well is because when in the beanbag toss, Zeta and Mitch threw beanbags at Johnny and Aurelia's, thing. So Johnny was like, well, you don't like us? Well, he's gonna do this, return the favor. So he did the same thing to them and put all the things in it. When it came to Ray and Imani's turn, Ray was just like, let's just target Mitch and Zeta. Then next thing you know, Imani target basically everybody. She put some in Mitch and Zeta's, some in Jack and Justine, Sally and y'all's. Like, they were just like, yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. Like, that is crazy. Like, what are you doing? So they were asking, like, why did you put, apples in our bin? They're just like, I'm just evening out, just trying to be fair. So everybody's like, that is not showing loyalty in whatsoever, because one thing, you already did the beanbags to Courtney and Scott, and then you're putting apples in everyone's bin and not just going along with, putting into one person's bin. You basically cut all your alliances, cut all your loyalty ties to everybody, because now you're targeting everybody.
I just evened it out, but just to do it, but
There's no loyalty.
Wait, Imani, what about me?
well, if I told someone I have them and they make time to form a connection with me, then that's where I have to go in the moment.
You weren't even loyal to the people you formed connections with.
Courtney, I didn't have no one to go for, and I chose you in the first round. It is what it is, and I never told you that we have a solid thing.
Yeah, you did.
I know I made it known where my loyalty.
You definitely did.
So everybody was mad. And then Courtney basically told Imani, because before the Carnival games, Imani borrowed Courtney's outfit because she liked her wardrobe. So Courtney was like, yeah, you can wear it. So Courtney was upset because she was like, you're wearing my clothes and you're doing me dirty. Like, what are you doing? So Imani was like, oh, I just like your wardrobe. And, she was like, she just confused. Like, she just messed it up. So I'm just like, she needs to hold her out. So the last challenge was the pie in your face. So you have to throw a beanbag through one of the holes. The biggest one is 1 pie. Smallest one is three pies. So I believe Jack and Justine went first, was able to get a pie, because they got their beanbags across. So they target Ray and Imani. So they put a pie on Ray and Imani. They couldn't target Scott and Courtney or Mitch and Zeta because they're already vulnerable. So if everybody keeps pieing Ray and Imani, then they're going to be the third vulnerable couple in the villa. So with that being said, they target Ray and Imani. Sally and y'all did the same. They target Ray and Imani. It was Courtney's turn. Courtney and Scott's turn. And Courtney and Scott, they got the point and they were able to target, Ray and Imani, and 2 points. They got target Ray and Imani and Deb and Callum. And before they even got the pie, Courtney had some words for Imani. Courtney was just like, once again, you're wearing my outfit and you're doing me dirty. So Imani, I guess after getting a couple pies in her face, she was just like, you can pie me and your nice clothes. Like, I don't care. Like, these are not my clothes. Like she said, like you said, these are not mine. These are your clothes. You can pie me. And it was like, oh, snap.
Then Imani, you're head to toe in my clothes and lied to my face and fucked me over today.
Pie me real good, get on your clothes, I don't give a fuck.
Courtney pied Imani like with force, and Imani just flicked the pie, the whipped cream on Courtney. So we were just like, everybody's like, oh snap, because this is getting serious.
Oh shit.
Ah.
Oh shit. Imani kind of did like a reverse pie on Courtney, and the pie was splattered back on Courtney. That was probably the most ruthless thing I saw, because Courtney came with the heat and she pied her with intent.
At the end of the carnival, they were able to get stuffed animals. So they came up to the villa, and Ray and Imani are upset. Ray is more upset because he's like, now him and Imani are boyfriend and girlfriend. He's telling Imani like, just trust me. The OG's got our back. We've been rocking with these people since day one. They got our back. They got our back. And Imani just did her own thing, and basically her actions made them vulnerable. Her doing her own thing and then messing up in the second round and trying to put apples in everybody's bin messed them up. That's how they became vulnerable, because nobody's seen Imani as loyal or trustworthy, because it's just like, we just made a pact and you broke it as soon as you're faced with trying to do something. So Ray is upset, and he's more upset at Imani because he's just like, he understands why everybody's pieing them, why everyone's doing whatever to them, because he's like, okay, it's just like we're not on the same page, and we understand that things happen. So when they came to the fire pit, he was like, well, he named them. He name dropped them. He was like, I'm rocking with Johnny, Jack, Sally, Justine, this person, that person, since day one. So I'm loyal to them. And, he was like, well, since we're vulnerable, we'll see if you guys really got my back or not. And like, we're just going to see. So here's y'all talking about like, oh, well, when it push comes to shove, you guys were the one who, didn't keep the same promise, you know what I'm saying? Because even though they handshaked on, keeping each other safe, Imani still went against that whole situation and, still put an apple. Even though the apple is a non-factor, she still basically, her actions showed that they're not gonna be on the same page, and they're not gonna have each other's backs. Maya Jama comes into the villa, and she comes in, everybody's like, oh snap, after everything that happened in the carnival games, we still gotta deal with some serious matters. So she said that the stuffed animal contains hearts, and only one of the stuffed animals that the Islanders have a gold heart, and if whoever has that, they'll be able to save one of the vulnerable couples, and if one of the vulnerable couples have it, they can save themselves. So everybody's opening the stuffed animals and finding out that there's only have pink hearts, whatever. Come down to it, they find out that Jack and Justine have the golden heart.
Justine, Jack, let's see if you've got the golden heart.
Show it on. Oh my lord.
All right, guys, well, it is down to you. You can now choose which of the vulnerable couples gets to stay. You have to make the decision alone.
So they have to choose which Islander to save, which basically says that whoever they don't save, those two couples are immediately going home. So Jack, Maya basically gave them a chance to discuss. They couldn't discuss it amongst the other safe couples at all. They had to go talk amongst themselves. So Jack is like, I'm cutthroat. We got to think strategically now. We got to take out the strongest couple, and the strongest couple is Ray and Imani. So Justine is like, I can't do that to Ray because her and Ray are really close. That's like one of her outside guy friends. So with that being said, she's like, I can't do that to Ray. So she's like, if we cut Ray, I can't do that. But then, they would bring up the fact that Imani doesn't have their back. So, and then with the challenge that Imani can even be on the same page as Ray, even as a girlfriend to him, that's like putting all these factors into like, okay, we gotta think strategically, we gotta think about the game, let's take out the strongest player. So they came back to the fire pit, and basically based on Jack's words, Jack is saying that we're choosing to save this couple because they're most likely not as much as a threat as the other ones.
Difficult. So the couple that we are going to save is...
So you can see Ray already have red eyes. He's already crying because he knows, with that being said, it's not going to be Ray and Imani being saved. Ray and Imani are one of the strongest couple, basically the strongest couple up there. So if they take out Ray and Imani, that makes Jack and Justine the strongest couple, or essentially, based on Jack's words, they're cutting Ray and Imani, and they're going to probably save Courtney and Scott, because Courtney and Scott doesn't seem like, a real threat. I feel like that's a smart move, because after hearing, Imani wanted to cut Justine, like, in the very beginning, it was the episode, it left on a cliffhanger, and yeah, I think Scott and Courtney are going to get saved. That episode, I just want to say Imani brought it on to herself. If she just stuck to the plan, even if she was going against Ray, if she stuck with, staying with the bombshells, she would have been good. But her turning on the bombshells and then her turning on everybody else, she didn't have no leg to stand on. She didn't have nothing to really back herself. There's only, like, it's one thing if you just turn on the OGs and you stick with the bombshells, but you turn on the bombshells, that's the first thing you did. And then, after doing that, you started targeting the OGs, and that's when everything went to the fan. Also, I would say Scott ate that one thing when he was, like, telling everybody the power dynamic in the house.
I wasn't going to lie to his face. Jack and Justine are the strongest couple in here.
Power dynamic how?
I feel like you two, if anyone's going to win here, thinking ahead, you two need to be split up.
Why?
Because you two, obviously, you two are best mates. You two are best mates. You'll never go against each other.
Right, fine.
Jack and Justine literally have the social capital that Ray and Imani don't. Ray and Imani are just a power couple because they win the challenges, not because they hold that social capital. There's a difference, and Scott really pointed that out, that Jack and Justine hold that social capital, and because of their connections with Selling and Y'all, and Callum, and I guess Deb, really not really Deb, but just Callum, that puts them into like a stronger position. And he was like, well, I'm targeting you guys because we need to cut you guys and, give people a chance to win something. And he ate that one thing because he made sense. Also, do not take Scott seriously on any of these USA versions of the show, because he's really just here to have a fun time. He's like acting like Courtney is like the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm just like, we're watching this on the screen, but like in real time, he's over here with Catherine. So what is it? What is it, Scott? Like, we can't take anything he says seriously in terms of the love romance, because it is not going to be taken seriously. But yeah, that was a really good episode. This is like an episode when Love Island Games becomes Love Island Games. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, like the video, comment down below, let me know your doubts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.